Hi everyone, I'm going to run you through my process for applying Builder in a Bottle. So I hope this aids you in finding your own application style that works for you to create that lovely shape and apex. I'm starting off with a bare nail that I've just removed product from, but my step one would be to push back the eponychium, scrape away any obvious debris, and then, if necessary, come in with my e-file and cuticle bit to remove stubborn cuticle and push the skin away from the side walls. I'm going to shape the free edge using a 240 or 180 grit nail file. I'm going to buff underneath the nail to remove any filing frills and buff over the entire nail plate using a 180 grit buffer. As I've just done a removal, this nail was already buffed. And then using a dusting brush to remove any dust and debris. And coming in with a lint-free wipe soaked in acetone for preparation for application. Really focusing on the side walls and cuticle edge and not forgetting that underneath of the nail where the natural nail is capped in gel. Acetone is all that's required before application of the gel bottle products. Onto application, BIAB works best when it is slightly runny, so whilst doing your prep work, stick that bottle between your legs, down your bra, somewhere nice and warm, just to thin that product slightly before application. You're then going to apply a super thin layer of your BIAB. Now, gel attracts gel, so where you place this layer is where all your subsequent layers will flow. So do not cure until you're 100% satisfied that none is on the skin, and then this cures on low heat mode for 99 seconds. We're going to come in and apply another thin layer, but we're not going to cure this time. This is our slip layer. Again, apply nice and thin and even, but leave this wet. You're going to grab a larger bead of product, hold your brush downwards at a 45-degree angle if necessary to allow it to bead on the tip of your brush, and you're going to place it in the middle or back third area depending on the length of the nail, and bounce the product in place to allow that bead off the brush and onto the nail. Without losing contact with the gel, push from the bottom of that bead upwards towards the cuticle area. Don't go too close, we can edge this closer in a later step. In circular motions, circle over to the left and then shimmy in an up and down motion to brush slightly down the sidewall area, and circle back to the middle, circle over to the right and shimmy up and down slightly down the other sidewall, and circle back to the center. This circling ensures the bulk is always being circled from the side walls inwards, keeping that bulk in the apex area. And at this point you can release contact with the gel. Now if I turn my nail to the side profile here, you'll see that we've got the bulk of the product in the back third where we want it. Float the product down the left, float the product down the right, float the product just left of the center, float the product just right of the center, and this will leave any remaining gel in that central strip of the nail. From here you can place the finger upside down and allow gravity to help create that perfect apex. Flip that finger over to check your shape, make any necessary changes. I often need to drag some bulk from the apex area forward gently. And if you work with a desk lamp, you'll be able to see the lines of the light in your gel, which can give you a really good idea of where your gel is uneven, bumpy, or lacking. And when you're happy with the overall shape and apex, grab a small liner brush if needed to gently edge that gel closer to the cuticle and sidewall areas. Be sure to remove any gel touching the skin before curing and place in the lamp on low heat mode for 99 seconds. Out of the lamp, we're going to wipe away that inhibition layer with alcohol, and we're going to go in and refine. This is especially important if you are new at application, or to blend the sidewall slightly to allow for a cleaner, less bulky appearance if you're following up with gel polish colour. I tend to do my usual filing technique, but instead I do this with a 100 grit buffer. If your shape is really out of whack, go in with your normal hand file, but once you get the hang of application, I find a buff is all that's necessary. And in this case, I finished off with a coat of the Gel Bottle's Extreme Shine top coat. If you are going in with a colour first, you will need to either leave that inhibition layer behind or remove it and create a buffed surface for it to adhere to. And here's my finished nail. I've done 3 sessions with educators now regarding BIAB application, and every one of them has had their own individual technique for application. So I hope this helps you find your own way of applying BIAB for that perfect shape and structure. Check out my other videos and subscribe if you are not already, because I will be posting how to backfill BIAB and do a BIAB removal.